This is the podcast that gives young people a voice to talk about deeper issues, life, relationships, experiences, life ambitions, etc. Today I have my friend Katouche. How are you feeling?
I'm good, but it's Katouche, not Katouche, but no worries. Easy mistake.
My bad.
No worries. How are you? Thank you for having me again.
I am good, thanks. It's just weird time, especially what's going on in the world in the UK.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on at the moment. Crazy times.
Briefly want to touch on the lockdown. How do you feel about the second lockdown? Which is starting tomorrow until the 2nd of December, hopefully.
Can't say I'm looking forward to it, but can I say that it's been a big change to how my life has been since the first lockdown? Probably not. So in the first lockdown, I've been locking down from before then because I've had like various injuries and my health has kind of been very up and down since December. So it wasn't like I was out and about and it made a massive difference to maybe my social life in the same way. But I think not having the option and how it kind of derails whatever plans one would have going on is quite inconvenient. But it's to be expected because structurally they're not really doing what they need to do and taking the precautions that they need to take to ensure that they can contain the virus. It barely gone down when they opened everything back up again in the summer. So it's to be expected. But, you know, I'll just try not to focus on it. I have plenty to be getting on with, so it's fine. What about you?
It's just confusing with the rules regarding the lockdown. They are still opening schools and universities, which doesn't make any sense, so.
No, doesn't make any sense because those are the main places that are spreading, you know, coronavirus. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it all. It clearly doesn't make sense. It's just frustrating to not have the consistency where everything just keeps going up and down, and I think it's going to make things a lot more difficult for us in a lot of ways, but never mind. What can you do? I didn't vote for him, but, you know, we're here now.
And what's your thoughts on what the government should spend on?
I mean, disability cuts over the past 10 years under a Conservative government have been a really big issue for people like ourselves. So I feel like, I don't know, I don't have a lot of confidence in the current government. Yeah, fundamentally, I'm not a Tory. I don't agree with the tenets of what being a Tory consists of. It's not in my interests at all. So I don't know. I would have hoped for a more equitable society where accessibility is a right rather than a favor, and the social model of disability is prioritized when we're looking at how disabled people can live and operate in the world, that we're respected, that our impairments are not considered an abnormality, but rather just part of the spectrum of human experiences, so that we don't have to experience life the way we do. Other places, other cities I've been to in Europe, for example, have better systems of access, like in public, and therefore it means that disabled people are not disabled by their environment. You know, they have impairments, but their environment doesn't create a barrier for them. They can live the lives that they want to live to a much greater extent than we do here in the UK, despite the UK being quite a prominent country, if you will, popular and, you know, well established. It's very backwards and behind when it comes to a lot of things to do with social justice. So I think that is something that I'd want. Does that answer your question?
Last subject. Is schools really teaching young people about the history about Black people?
Well, no, not really. So I don't know if you've heard of the Black Curriculum. It's an initiative started by a friend of mine, actually, Lavinia Stennett, and they're doing some amazing work in incorporating Black British history into the mainstream curriculum. But outside of that sort of initiative that was taken by Lavinia, it's very difficult to see. Like, I was really fortunate that I went to school in a really multicultural area as a child. And so what we were taught reflected the demography of the school. But when I went to secondary school, that more or less disappeared because I went to a predominantly white secondary school. And then at university, I studied history with a special focus on African history. And there again, I was able to learn a lot. But most of it, outside of what I experienced as a very young child in primary school, was my own vested interest in learning about Black history and African history in Africa, as well as the diaspora. That's what's really kind of inspired me and pushed me to learn more. And I feel really grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that. But I definitely am really passionate about making sure that that sort of information is accessible to younger people. It's very good to build self-esteem and to give them a much better and well-rounded perspective on life that includes them. I don't think it's in the interest of the current sort of establishment to teach that, because of, I think, how it shifts the perspectives of the kids, and it would create greater tolerance and an equitable society. And I don't feel like that's what they actually want. So, you know, it's a shame, but, you know, thankfully we have the Black curriculum and they're doing the work, and it'll be great to see them supported to be able to make sure that their information is widely accessible to young people.
Yeah, that's true. Anything else you want to discuss before we go?
Maybe just to thank you again for having me here. It's nice that we're able to do things like this as like Black disabled people. I feel like, yeah, we got to amplify this voice even more. I'm looking forward to seeing creatively what you're able to do with everything. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe follow me on Instagram at It's Katouche. Also at It's Katouche on Twitter. And yeah, so that's more or less it. Thank you, Nadal.